Lucy Burwell Berkeley. Lucy Burwell Berkeley, November 21, 1683, December 16, 1716, was courted by Governor Francis Nicholson when she was 17 years old. When she did not return his affections, the middle-aged Nicholson threatened her family. Burwell Berkeley was among the women of the early 18th century that sought a marriage based upon her feelings of love and affection for a man of refined manners, good character, and emotional health over political and financial status. Nicholson had threatened her family and the man that she would marry. Philip Ludwell, a family member, interceded on her behalf, and the Virginia Governor's Council asked and Queen of Great Britain to remove Nicholson from his role of governor of the Virginia colony. She married Edward Berkeley from another elite family of Virginia, and they had a good marriage. She died after 13 years of marriage and 5 children. Her epitaph included that she never in all the time she lived with her husband gave him so much as once cause to be displeased with her. Early life. Lucy Burwell, born on November 21, 1683, was the daughter of Abigail Smith and Louis Burwell 1652 c. 1710. She was probably born in Gloucester County, Virginia, at the Fairfield plantation on Carter's Creek. Louis Burwell's estate was located in Gloucester County on Carter's Creek, 2 miles upstream of Roswell and later of Kings Creek in York County, Virginia. Abigail, the niece and heiress of General Nathaniel Bacon's estate, was Louis Burwell's first wife, with whom they had 4 sons and 6 daughters. He later married Martha Lear Cole, with whom they had a son and 3 daughters. Burwell was a member of the Virginia Governor's Council from 1702 to 1710, the year that he died. Francis Nicholson. At the age of 16, Burwell was high-born and beautiful. She received her first love letter from 44-year-old Governor Francis Nicholson, written on the night before Valentine's Day. He began courting her, during which he visited her and corresponded with her. He sent her a flood of poems, missives tender and otherwise, memoranda, menaces, and memorials. He fell madly in love with Burwell, who was known for her charm as well as her beauty. It was also important to him that she was deeply devoted to the Church of England, and he offered her guidance about her readings and when to take communion. He wrote to her that, as her friend and lover, he most cordially and earnestly recommend to you to receive the most holy sacrament, God willing, next Easter. He said that he prayed that she be pleased to read the 3 books I herewith presume to send you. In one of them there is a prayer about marrying. He called her fair angel and dear saint. He also wrote letters to her parents, sometimes daily, asking for their help with the relationship. In the summer of 1700, Nicholson nominated Louis Burwell to the Governor's Council, which was an honor. Louis Burwell refused the position. Her father publicly stated that his daughter was free to marry whomever she chose. She continued to entertain other men. Edward Berkeley, around 29 years of age, well-educated, and a successful planter from a good family, was one of the men interested in her. Marrying Nicholson could have been a politically expedient decision, but decided that Nicholson was not the right match for her. Archibald Blair, the brother of Commissary James Blair, was a suitor. When Lucy was about 18 years of age, she and her father declared that Lucy had no interest in marrying Nicholson. He threatened to kill whomever she intended to marry. He became temperamental and was threatening towards the Burwell family and their allies, who were among the colony's elite families. When Nicholson had sent gifts to Lucy, she promptly returned them. Once rejected, he spread gossip that Lucy and her friends had accepted the gifts, which tarnished her reputation. When in public, Lucy was called names and felt threatened by the behavior of others. Philip Ludwell, a relative and member of the Governor's Council, interceded on her behalf with the governor, with comportment and gentility. Nicholson's behavior, along with his unpopular policies, drove 4 Burwell relatives and 2 others to petition and Queen of Great Britain for Nicholson's removal as governor. Titled Memorial concerning the maladministration of Governor Nicholson, It was signed by 6 councillors: John Blair, Benjamin Harrison, Robert Carter, Matthew Page, Philip Ludwell, and John Lightfoot. The document focused on the governor's acts of injustice, oppression, and insolence towards the councillors and other public abuses, which were not detailed. Several others sent in letters of support for the petition to the Queen. At a time when leading Virginians were searching for a dignified regional identity and attempting to check the power of the governor, Burwell's refusal of Nicholson did much both to legitimize the Virginia elite's grievances against him and to provide compelling evidence of his despotic and dishonorable tendencies. In exercising her prerogative to choose her own husband, surely the most public and free act of her short life, Lucy Burwell became, in the annals of Virginia folklore, a symbol of regional resistance to the abuse of power. Marriage, marriage. Burwell and Edmund Berkeley, 1665–1718, the son of Mary Mann and Edmund Berkeley of Gloucester County, married on December 1, 1703. Edmund, from Petsworth parish of Gloucester County, was a successful planter with large holdings in Middlesex, Gloucester, and King and Queen counties. He was appointed to the council in 1713, a position that he held until his death in 1718, and was county lieutenant in Middlesex in 1715. Lucy rejected Nicholson at a time when young women began to be advised to seek husbands that would make good companions by seeking physical, intellectual, and social compatibility from men that they loved and felt affection. More specifically, advice manuals of the early 18th century advised selecting partners who were refined, with good manners, moral character, intelligence, and a nice temperament, who they were attracted to. Lucy and her brothers and sisters married into established families in New Kent, which influenced the politics of colonial Virginia at that time. It was Edward's second marriage. He was previously married to Mary Mason. They had no children. Lucy and Edmund lived in Petsworth parish in Gloucester County until 1712 or 1713, and then lived on Barn Elms Plantation in Middlesex County, Virginia. They had 2 sons, Louis and Edmund, and 3 daughters, Lucy, Mary, and Sarah. Most of the Berkeleys with this spelling living in Virginia descended from this couple. Death. Burwell Berkeley died on December 16, 1716, and was buried at Barn Elms in Middlesex County. Edmund Berkeley added an epitaph to her gravestone about their marriage. She never, in all the time she lived with her husband, gave him so much as once cause to be displeased with her. Edmund died December 15, 1718.